Hi, I'm Azra.
And hi, I'm Theandra.
And you're listening to the A&T Friendship Diaries.
Hi, this is Theandra, and you're listening to another segment of our None Your Business podcast. So, Azra has our topic today. I'm going to let you take over.
So, this was a post that I came across. Of course, gotta love the gram. But I came across this post and I'm going to read it to you and then we're going to get into it. So, the post is from a man and he says, I asked this woman I've been talking to for a minute for $100. I got a whole lot of what do you need it for? And when do I get it back? A whole bunch of questions. I plan for a trip for us in the mountains in Colorado for 4 days. Hotel cost per night $200. Whitewater rafting $150 per person. Zip lining $125 per person. Hot air balloon $250 per person. SUV rental $80 a day. Not to mention the food costs. I had all this covered and I only asked her for $100. I just canceled everything and got my deposits back. I didn't need the $100. I was just seeing what type of response I'd get if I asked her for it. I didn't ask, when do I get my money back when I was planning this vacation? I was simply handling business. People don't think long term. Test failed.
Can I talk now?
I feel like you might be kind of anxious to talk about this. So we haven't talked about it, of course, just like any of our other podcasts, whether we're discussing the originals, we watch it separately, then we come together and we talk about it for the first time. This gentleman's post about baby girl failing the test because she didn't want to give $100. We haven't talked about this either. And I can tell by my sister's face, I wish y'all could see it, that she is dying to talk about her point of view of this. So we gonna get into it.
Let's get into it because first of all, if he came at me with that, look, I ain't no fool. You know what I'm saying? I just look young, but I wasn't born yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I call bull crap on this story. First of all, this is my reason why.
Okay.
Read the first two lines for me.
I asked this woman I've been talking to for a minute for $100. I gotta, what do you need it for? And when am I gonna get it back?
Pause. First of all, you said you've been knowing her for a minute. So in my mind, I want to know what is a minute because some of y'all dudes think that if you met me on Monday, you already asking for money on Wednesday and you think it's a minute. Or it could be a week later and we don't been on a date and you think it's a minute and you think it's okay to ask me for money. Number two, if you my dude, I'm not gonna have a problem giving you $100, but you're gonna have to. It's some things you have to done along the way. So my question is,
I think he's done those things though. This baby said that he paid $200 a night for a hotel. First of all, he's taking her to the mountains in Colorado.
That's what he say. That ain't what he did. Because this is my whole point.
I'm pretty sure this. I don't feel like this is their first trip.
No, but this is what I'm saying though. That's why I have a problem with what he just said because I know or I feel like in a woman's right mind, if a dude is really caking you like that, like really taking you on trips, really doing his manly thing, if he came to you and asked you for $100, you're gonna be like, yeah, babe, I got you. You might not even question him. I have a problem with why did she question you? Because if your track record shows that you're somebody that's trustworthy, that you're somebody that do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, your actions would speak louder than your words. I won't have to ask you what you need it for and when I'm getting it back. Never.
I understand that.
So if you were doing what you were supposed to do, why would she even ask you that?
For all that he says that he had planned.
And why you didn't do that before you planned all that?
I
Why
am
the
not
test come after?
I don't think that this is probably their first trip together. Now, we don't know this. This is just
It ain't.
speculation.
He ain't took her nowhere.
You think this is their first trip?
This he ain't took her nowhere.
And okay, even if this is their first trip and he has put deposits down for all of these things, she can't help on the deposit for their first trip. She couldn't have gave him the $100. She could have gave him the $100.
Did he tell her it was for the trip? He just said he needed a
No,
hundred
I mean he
dollars.
didn't tell her because she was asking what he needed for.
Exactly. But if and that's what I'm saying. If your intentions were pure, why did she have to ask, what are you using it for? And why did that upset you? If she said, hey, what do you need it for? If that made you upset because she just didn't give it on your word, then I have a problem with that. Because number one, we don't know her situation. We don't know if she got it or not. We don't know if she got to make moves.
Well, by her responding with questions, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that yes or no she does or does not have it, but her responding with questions says to me that she probably does have it. But again, she wants to know, why does he need it? What's he going to use it for, etc. The only problem that I personally have with this post is the fact that he wrote at the very end, test failed. Ooh.
I mean,
Cause
what was he testing her on?
yeah, boy, don't
That's
test
what
me.
that's what I'm saying.
Don't do
That's my
that.
whole point. What are you testing me on? Because number one, if you see this is the problem I have with this post. Because see, I got questions. Because I'm just not a
I
person
see.
that just take what you say at first back. Because I like to deduct. That's just me. I'm a reader. I'm analytical, and I need facts. For you to plan this whole trip before you did the test makes me believe there's something about this chick that you felt like
You needed to test.
she was, or she not necessarily needed to test, because you would have done that before you did all the bookings. Why go through the trouble of booking a hotel room, booking a hot balloon, doing all of this stuff, and then be like, oh, let me test her. And then because she failed, now you got to go back and cancel all that. You should have done all that before you done all, and then after you
Maybe
did all that,
during making all of those deposits, he was like, I'm coming out the pocket a good bit of money. Let me even see if she's worth it. And I'll ask simply for $100.
but I'm saying, why didn't you do all that before you made it? Like, why now on the back end, you like, well, I might need to see
Because
if
he
she
just
worth
thought,
it.
I mean, because he just thought about it. Maybe he started looking, he logged into his bank account and was like, damn, hot air balloon,
No,
damn,
no,
hotel.
no, no, no. That's an investment. And whenever I make an investment, I'm going to make sure it's worth it before I put my funds in it.
Yeah, that's you. We talking about men.
It don't even matter.
Yes, it do. Men and women are two totally different creatures, yo. That book, I'm gonna go super
I don't
old
even know
school on
why he
y'all.
posted it. It sounds like he's just gaslighting to me. Like it just feels like
The book Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus is a very old book. If you have not read it, I suggest that you do, because it makes you understand why he felt the need to quote unquote test her. I'm not saying it was right. I don't appreciate it. I I wouldn't want to be tested. Either you need $100 for real, or you don't. You know what I'm saying? And if I got it and it's been good, I'm gonna give it to you.
that's what I'm saying.
But
It,
they
it's
don't.
been good. Like my whole point is, and maybe I'm just speaking from my perspective, but if I'm dating somebody, because he said for a minute, and if we're planning trips or you're planning a trip, a surprise trip for me, like if we're at that level in our relationship, then you've had to show me something along the way to let me know if you come ask me for $100. Depending on the type of person you are, I should know whether or not if I can give it to you and if I have to ask for it back. Like
Very
I would
true.
know. Like if I know you on the hill of beans, like you say you're gonna call me, you don't. You say we're gonna do this, you flake out. You say you're gonna do this, or you do. If your track record shows me I can't trust you, then that might be why you have questions. But if you that dude and you've been there, and we truly ride or die, we take a trips, I wouldn't think no question of it.
But
Like
if his track record is saying to her that he's not trustworthy, then she shouldn't even be in the position for him to be able to even ask her for no money. Who out here dating men that they don't trust? Like what?
Well, it depends. He says in a minute. So you trust is something earned. So we don't know what stage of the relationship they in, but for her to ask,
Bro, I'm gonna have to trust you before I go to the mountains with you. You not finna, I'm
but
sorry.
that's
I don't know
according
if
to
it's because I
him.
watch too much ID channel, but when I say you not finna leave me in the mountains of Colorado, absolutely the hell not. I have to trust you. So if I trust you to get in a
But she
hot
don't
air
know. But
balloon
mind you,
with
she don't
you,
know about this trip.
we don't know that she don't know about this trip. It don't say nothing in this post that she don't know about this trip.
Well, true. I assume she didn't know about it because he said I went and canceled it. So I'm like, so I would like to see.
I
Okay,
mean, he can still cancel it and she could be somewhere sad because that ass is not going to Colorado.
I wouldn't be sad. I'd be like, good riddance. Because if $100 is all, because I wouldn't give you $100. Now I fail a test, but I
It's
was,
not the giving of the $100, I believe, is this man's problem. It's her response. It's the why you need it.
but why
What
he
you
feel
gonna
like
give
he
it back?
entitled to a different response? Why does he feel entitled to a different response? Because my point is,
Because they've been together for a minute.
and if y'all been together for a minute, you should know her by now that you should have at least knew what the reason behind her response. Like we're only going by the context that he give. We don't know her pockets. We don't know if they living together. We don't know if they stay in separate houses. We don't know what her bill situation is. She might have asked for a back because she got something to do. We don't know. We're just assuming she got it and she wouldn't give it because she's being the way he positioned, like she got it and wouldn't give it and was asking all these questions. She failed a test because she
Her
didn't have my
questions
back.
indicate that she got it and she not gonna give it. Her questions, because see, listen, if you ask me for $100, I'm not gonna say what you need it for if I don't got it. I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, boo, I don't got $100. It's to me, it's irrelevant why you need it. I don't got it to give to you, so I don't give a damn why you need $100. I don't have it to help you. It don't really matter.
But if you're in a relationship where I can't trust what you say, I may ask. There's certain people in my life that can ask me for money, and I don't ask a question. I don't. I'll be like, okay, well, let me see what I can do. But it's certain people that I know if they come ask me for money, okay, so what you need it for? I may have to ask that because you the type of person that I already know when you come to me asking me for money, I'm gonna have to ask you, especially if you say borrow, because we don't know if he said let me have. So if he said borrow, that means maybe she was expecting it back. But if you come to me needing money, I might need to know when I'm gonna get it back because your track record shows I may not ever get it back, or I don't get it back when you say. So I need to know so I can prepare my finances. Because let's remember, you're asking me for my money.
I understand that, but again,
And you're not entitled to my money, regardless of our relationship,
nobody
unless
has
you
ever
marry.
nobody has ever asked me for money and my response was what you need it for. That's just me personally.
Oh
So everybody is different.
no, I'll ask.
People, I don't have people in my life asking me for money that I'm not super close to where they even feel like they can ask me for money. And I know those who do, I already know what the response is going to be as far as if I'm going to get my money back, if I'm going to get my money back and it's just going to take a really long time. I got friends where if I give them money, it's a seed. It's a it's a love offering
You
because
know,
it's not coming back. You know what I'm
right?
saying?
That's why I
So
feel like she like when I'm gonna get it back because it ain't coming back. So
she wasn't trying to give a love offering.
right,
She
no,
charging interest is what it sound like. It sound like when he do get 100 back, she gonna want 110.
it could be. I if I feel I ask. No, I'm not gonna say I ask people what they're gonna do with it, but it's certain people I do. So if my daughter comes to me like, I need $20, I'm like, what you need $20 for? I'm gonna ask her so I'll know what I'm giving my $20 for.
Okay.
So it's certain
Okay.
people that I do. I'm not saying
Okay.
everybody.
Okay. No, you got
And
me on
most
that
people
because
volunteer
when baby girl asked me for money, I
sometimes
do
when
ask.
they
Yeah.
ask you for the money because if they feel like you have it, then they want to make sure that you understand the situation. So like if I need to borrow $100 from you because my light's getting cut off today, then I'm be like, I need to borrow $100 and I'm need it today because I need to catch a bill. Because to let you know how quick I can,
Right.
so some people volunteer the information. I don't know, but the way it sounds like he asked for $100
And he
and
didn't give
he
any
didn't get it.
reason.
And then he was like, I had to go back and cancel everything. So I don't understand the disconnect. I don't understand how you plan a whole trip and then at the end of it, you say it was a test that she failed. Why was she being tested? Why did you feel the need to test her? Because you said you didn't need the $100. So if you didn't need the $100, why did you ask her for it and want to test her after the fact? Because after, so you
He
started.
asked her for it because he was wanting to just gauge what her response was going to be. He
Why
says,
does
I
it matter?
didn't need the $100. I was just seeing what type of response I'd get if I asked her for it.
But why?
You know, you're saying that, but I've done it. I know that I have done it. I can't think of a particular situation
Well,
right
then
now,
that's
but
probably
I have definitely asked a man like, boom, give me $20 just to see if he was gonna give it to me. You've never done that?
no,
Are you serious?
no,
You never asked him for some money just to see
no,
if he was gonna give it to you?
no,
Oh wow. Okay.
no. I
See,
never asked. I never
and that's
asked
why I
him
said
for
everybody is
money
different.
to see
Yes.
if he was gonna give it to me.
Yep.
Matter of fact, he just
He just
gave
gave it
me
to you.
money.
Yeah, you didn't have to
I
ask.
didn't
Okay,
have to ask.
so he's not a good example. Think back. Think back high
I've
school. In
never
high school,
I've never asked a
and I'm
man for
not talking
money.
about as a grown woman.
No, I'm
I've
talking about
tried
in high
that.
school. I've never asked a man for money. I've never done that. Like I've never been that type person. And maybe that's why I don't understand because I'm always 100. Like not saying that you're not, but what I'm saying is and that's probably why I
You
don't
can ask somebody something to
get.
also see if they're 100. If I know that we've been kicking it for a minute and I'm feeling you, I'm trying to possibly be down for you and to see if that same feeling is reciprocated. And in that instance, how I thought to see if that feeling was reciprocated by asking you for it, because money is important. Let's not play.
Yeah,
People
it is.
don't play about money.
They don't.
It's money. So I feel like that's something to ask that kind of has some type of value because hell, it's money to see whether or not that person is really like, oh, okay, whatever the case
And
may
that
be,
could be
you need some
why
money for
she was like,
something.
"What you needed for what?" Because we don't like to say once again we don't know. He says a minute, but your minute, a minute for everybody is different. Because my minute could be different from yours. But no, I've never asked somebody for money because I'm not trying to test them to see if they're gonna give it to me. Because if you don't, I'm not gonna. To me, it's not gonna necessarily change my mind if you don't or you do because time tells a story. Like you can't because you can still be in your representative stage. So you could give it to me and it don't speak to a volume of who you are. I gotta measure
This
it
is
on how
very
you
true.
treat me. So I don't I'm not gonna run, I'm not gonna do no test. Like I've never been a person to say, I'm just gonna do it to see if he'll give it to him. I'm gonna do this. I've never been that type person. Just say how you feel. Hey, look, give me would you do this or would you I just don't like playing games. Like just
Well,
be what
shit.
just say it.
Clearly, his ass didn't either because
Just
he said he
no.
canceled shit. Now, let me tell you
Because I've
why.
been the same way. What you needed for what? Well, I'm not gonna say I would be, because I'm not gonna lie. When me and my husband was dating and we got to a particular part in our relationship, he didn't necessarily ask me for nothing. It was somebody else that asked him for something while we were together, and they asked him for something, and he was like, "Well, I don't have it right now, but I get paid Friday." And I looked at him. I said, "Yes, you do have it right now, because I have it right now. So if you need it, I got you to so you can give to that person." Now we're all in the car together. And so because of that, he was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure it's straight." He was like, I was like, our whole thing was like, "Why you never just say you need it, whatever?" He was like, "Because I mean," and I'm not saying that it's not a this is just his response was because you my girl and it's not your job to give me money. So I wasn't even gonna ask you for it,
Right.
which that's fine. But overheard the conversation because we were all in the car together.
Right.
And so I was like, no, I got you because what's mine is yours.
And that's what I
And
feel
what's
like,
yours
Buddy, in this post.
is mine.
Right.
But we
That
was at a
reassurance that you gave Sam, though, I feel like this is what whoever this baby is that did that post, that's what he was looking for. This is why he says, I didn't need the $100. I was just seeing what his wording, it's the words. I did not need the $100. I was just seeing what type of response. That response speaks volume to me.
and see it on to me because I was like, but because our relationship was to the point where I knew 100 that Sam had my back 100. There was no questioning
But
him
clearly,
at
this man,
all.
yeah, but this man has questions.
Right, but
And him asking for $100 was his way to kind of see if he could get that question answered.
Right, but I'm saying for me as the woman, I didn't have no questions about him because I knew his intentions. I knew who I felt like I knew who he was, which I was, right about. But what I'm saying is, from the if he had have been not that dude, when I heard him say that, it'll just been like, oh well, dang, she just got to wait till Friday then.
Yeah,
sounds like
wait
she
till Friday.
Sounds like she gonna be waiting to Friday
Right.
because our relationship wouldn't have been to the point where I felt the need to say that, like what's mine is yours, because he showed me
Right.
the same like I knew that it would be the same for me.
Well, clearly,
so I feel like there's an imbalance. So I
she
feel
hasn't
like
showed him.
Right. Between the two of them, they probably haven't showed each other.
Correct.
And
there's
it's
definitely
what it sounds like.
miscommunication.
There's some communication.
It sounds like he might be a little bit more into her than she
possibly
might be into him.
And he probably, in my opinion, before he done all that, for him to think in the back of his mind to do that test, then she must have been showing you something else all along.
Right.
That maybe you felt like she wasn't all there for you. If you always chunking out, you're like, wait a minute.
Right.
Maybe she ain't giving me anything in return. I get that. But I don't get that because of what he said at the end. It was a test she failed. I didn't know I was here for an exam. I didn't know we were.
What I mean, because no, but
if she didn't give it to you, is it possible that you failed one of her tests? We don't know. Now, because I feel like
but for him, I feel like for him though, that's irrelevant. He's trying to see where her head is concerning him.
Ask her.
He's not concerned about
ask her.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying. Don't play games. Ask her. I'll ask
I get. As women, we say just ask, but I don't think for men, as simple as that sounds, I don't think it's that simple for them.
And that's why we have problems, because it really is.
And this is why I said people need to read the book Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. We're I don't even understand. I don't even understand how we've survived seriously on this earth this long. Because men and women are so freaking fucking different.
They are.
I mean, God bless it, but at the same time, ooh.
But they are different. But if I know you, I tend to know. It's hard for people to surprise me sometimes if I be around them long enough. Because for one, I don't let people in.
I don't either.
So I'm truly an observer.
Yes.
But I'm also, if I do let you in, then I'm just going to. That's why it's so easy for me to say, just ask. Because I feel like if you want to know, just ask.
I feel like most women
some people
would be
don't
like,
ask because they don't want to know.
Right.
Now, I am that type in a relationship. If you don't want to know something, don't ask me. Because if you ask me,
I'm going to tell you.
I'm going to tell you.
Absolutely.
So
as one should.
So
but all people are not like that.
Right, they're not. If he wanted to know this, just ask me.
I get that. But in knowing that all people do not operate like that, there is absolutely nothing wrong with him getting the information the only way clearly he thinks he can get the affirmation that she's for him. For you, it's a just ask me. Clearly, he ain't comfortable with the just ask me. So he did it this way. Who's to say that it's right or that it's wrong?
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but
I mean, I understand.
I mean,
You're
I
with the
understand it's his
you're just
post. I
you're
just
just
call bull. This is
yeah.
what I call bull. Like, show me the receipts. That's why I'm like, show me the receipts. I want to see that because it's easy to. I mean, he could be telling the truth. That's probably
I
my
mean, and
issue.
her $100 is not
But
gonna. Her $100 only covers one day of their SUV rental.
but I
Again,
didn't
he
like what he
really,
said in
really
there too.
don't
I
need
didn't
the
ask for my
money.
money back for planning this trip. So I mean, are you planning it because y'all are planning it together, or are you planning it because you doing it? Like, I don't understand that either. If it's something that you're doing out the kindness of your heart, then why are you expecting something back, or are you doing it because you are expecting? Like, what are your motives? You're trying to check her motives, but what are your motives? Like, are you truly trying to see, like, what's the test for? What are you testing her for? Are you testing her for loyalty? Are you testing her for to have your back? Are you testing her for to see if she's wife material? Are you testing her for to see if this somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with? Are you testing her? Like, what is the test for?
Okay, so the end of his post, because you just said it, he says, I didn't ask, when do I get my money back when I was planning the vacation? I just handled business. So that says to me, she knew about the vacation. I didn't ask for money when I was planning. I didn't ask, when do I get my money back when I was planning the vacation?
And see, that's my whole problem. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. That's the issue that I have. Then sit me down and say, hey, look, I'm planning this vacation. I'm shelling out some money. I would just like to know, do you have any plans of contributing towards
He
it
don't need
or
her money. He don't
doing
care
it?
about
It's not
that.
the, but he wouldn't have to do the test either. He could have just sat her down and said, because he don't need it. So if you don't need it, then why worry about it? That's my
So
whole thing. If you don't need it and you don't care about it, then why worry about it? It was important enough for you to do this test, so it should have been important enough for you to sit her down and be like, hey, so are you gonna put in on this? Such. I just need to know, so I know how to move, whatever. Position it how you want to. And she would have gave you an answer right then and there.
but I
Yes.
still think her answer would have been, when do I get my money back? What do you need it for? I still think
Well,
that would
she
have been
wouldn't have
her.
to ask what he needed for if we're talking about the trip. I'm telling you what we needed for. And so if that had been her response then he could have been like, well, I don't feel like, if we're taking this trip together, I feel like, both of us should be spending, like, I felt like and it could have been, who knows? I feel like it could have been a conversation because to me, what that sounds like is a misunderstanding. And you're making a lifelong decision over one test. Like, how many tests is there? So it's one fail and I'm done, no redemption? Or is it, well, maybe let me teach her what it's supposed to look like so she can learn from it and grow? So even if I'm not gonna be the dude, maybe I can teach her in the next relationship. Hey, this is you coming off real selfish right now. Like, what is the point? Yeah, the point is for you to get what you need answered.
Yeah, the point was for him to
But
get some
if
type of
you need that,
affirmation.
right, if you need the affirmation, then let me know. It sounds like y'all speaking two different love languages. It's still lack of communication,
It's still very much so lack of communication,
and that's all
because
I'm
he
saying.
would it starts with the lack of communication,
It
because
sounds immature to me.
he would
I don't have
already
time for that.
know how she was feeling if they hadn't been communicating
Exactly. I don't
before.
have time for that. Like, it's too immature for me. I don't have time for that. Tell me how you feeling. Because you feeling some type of way. If you feel like you need to test me, then tell me that.
But then from the flip side, clearly she feeling some
Because
type of
I'm
way
gonna let you know.
if she's got
And
to
that might
ask.
be why, your girl, I don't play no games when it comes. Look, I ain't gonna lie, I don't play no games when it comes to me because I don't have time. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100. Let me know. Like, if you got a problem with me, if I'm in a relationship with you, this is who I'm. Come to me. Be a man about it. Tell me how you feel. I can't be what you need me to be. I can't be what you want me to be. I don't even know if I can be that if you don't give me the opportunity. So if you don't get what you need, but you're not telling me what you need, I'm like, Zay, hashtag Team Zay, the ultimatum. Why am I the one? Tell me. Just talk to me. And if
Talk
you
to me
can't talk to
nice.
me nice, and if you can't talk to me, and see, that's my whole thing. That's why I have an issue with it because I'm like, dude, you just gotta talk to her. You put up you posted about it. Don't post about me. Come see me all the way. Like, that's just, that's the way I am. Just come see me. Come see
I
me.
think in his way, he did come see her. I think because it doesn't look like what you're saying,
It's a coward
it's
way out,
giving the
in my opinion.
impression.
It's a
Yeah.
coward way out.
Ugh, see?
I
And
don't,
I
it's a
don't see
coward way
that.
out to me. Cause just say it. Like, I don't understand. Like, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid I'm a lie? So that means you can't, or are you afraid I'm gonna reject you? Like, I don't understand why he just couldn't sit her down and be like, hey, look, instead of running this, I need to know how you feel about me. Like Zay said, I need to know how you feel about me. Why you want me to marry you?
And from the ultimatum, we can clearly see that everybody can't answer that question.
And if
I
she,
have no doubt that
and that,
baby girl liked or loved Zay, but she couldn't answer the question.
and he saw that, and that's why it ended the way it did. It is what it is. But that's why it is. And that was their whole issue. I mean, lack of communication. All I'm saying is, I get it. I'm not saying what he did was wrong, but I can say, as if I was his chick, I wouldn't like it. I would have a problem with it. I don't need you to run a test on me. Because I'm an open book, baby. You can read me. I'll tell you, but I know.
You're an open book. Maybe she ain't an open book. Maybe she just be sitting there
and if
mummified.
And if a dude isn't an open book, then I'm going to.
If a woman isn't an open book, it seems weird to a man.
No,
and
but
maybe
if a man
he couldn't get any information from her.
I'm gonna ask you. And that's probably why, I don't get off into, we don't make it long into the dating scene, because I'm just straight up. Like, if I got questions, I'm gonna ask. So, like, what are your intentions? Like, so what are we doing here?
That's women, though. You're a woman. You're speaking from a woman's perspective, because I would do the same thing. I am the same way. I'm very keep it 100. I'm going to say what it is, regardless of what it is, regardless if it hurts your feelings, because I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. If I'm somebody that cares about you, me telling you, hey, you might got a little touch of halitosis, I'm going to still fuck with you, though. That's me being your face.
No, I'm gonna drown you in some Listerine. Is what I'm gonna do. Like, literally hold your head up underwater.
That may hurt your feelings, but it's not changing my connection with you. It's not changing how you and I interact. I just want you to be aware of it so that you can fix it. So that everything with us, that's us. We're straightforward. We keep it above board. What's your sign? When's your birthday?
July the 5th. I get
you a Cancer. So that's why, again, you and I have we're totally different.
I get all
compared to whatever this man
I know
is
men
giving.
are different.
Yes.
I know they are. I know they, but I'm just saying, I don't like the way that man moved. It is what it is.
And I am here like to accept how you feel.
He could have got the same answer, just a different way. That's all I'm saying.
I think he got the answer that he was going to get, however which way it came.
True.
Just like how you said when you and Sam were in the car and Buddy asked Sam for $100 and you was like, boom. When Sam said, I don't have it, you was like, if I got it, so if I got it, you got it. He not getting that from her. He's not getting that vibe from her. He's probably getting the take
so
vibe
if he's
from
not
her.
getting that, if he's not getting that vibe, he already has his answer. There was no need for the test.
There was no now that part I will agree. That's the part I will agree with you on. If he had to test her in the first place, 9 times out of 10,
if you had to take them on the ultimatum, 9 times out of 10,
it's not what you think it is. No, or it is what you think it is. If you have to test somebody 9 times out of 10, it's exactly what you think it is.
That's why I think that's where it comes full circle to me. It's the fact that you felt like you had to test her. I feel like either you already had the answer, and then at this point, there was no need for a test. You should have sat her down.
I don't think this is gonna work. I don't think this is gonna work.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get my deposits back. We not going to the mountains in Colorado. Sorry about the air balloon. Or
because if I'm all about, if somebody don't work for you, that's fine, But at least give her the opportunity. I don't know. He probably did. Let her know where, she messed it up for.
I'm pretty sure he told her. We're talking about men.
But no, obviously not. Because if he felt like he told you, if he was the type to tell her after he had to do the test. But I digress. But I get why he done it. That's him. I get it. But I just, I don't like the whole testing. It's kind of like how you see shows where they'll be like the girl, and I think it's wrong. So, but so for all you people out there that won't think that I'm just a man basher, like, oh, she sounds like an angry black woman. I'm not, but I don't like the whole testing thing. So I don't like when chicks set they dudes up. I don't like that. I don't like when you sit back and you hire somebody
I like when chicks set they
and
dudes
you
up
sit
because they
back.
get exactly what the hell they knew they was gonna get in the first place. Like you just dumb and you didn't want to face the fact that your man will, yes, creep on you. There ain't no point in putting a little extra in the stage room to see if your man is gonna talk to her. Your man gonna talk to her. That's why you even got old girl in the stage room anyway to test your man because you know that's the type of man you got.
Exactly. So there's no need to test. And then if you got to do that, then I just don't understand all the mind games. Like I just don't get it. So I don't
Oh, because
condone in
that's
that
what human beings do. Human beings
because
love a good mind game.
yeah, they do love a good mind game, but I don't like that either. I don't like you testing them or setting them up because it don't end well.
It never
And then
ends well.
sometimes because you
Hell,
don't have a
this is a clear
and
example of it
sometimes
not ending well. They not going to Colorado.
and I know it's a it was a movie, but sometimes it don't even be what you think it is. Like I saw a movie, whole chick set her husband up. He took the bait, but he had never cheated up on her. He had never cheated on her up until that point, until she set him up. And then when he found out on the back end, he was like, I was always faithful to you until then. But there were things along the way that she felt like he was cheating on her, but he never really was. When all she had to do was just sit down, talk to him. Now they married at this point, which I digress. They was married. You should have sat down and talked to him. But the whole point is, it's like you doing all this stuff on the back end to avoid a conversation that you already need to have.
They probably should
You
have.
wasted the producer's time. You wasted the chick they hired time. Like, because at the end of the day, y'all ain't either. Even after that, they could probably still be together.
Yeah. Or
So I'm like,
maybe somewhere doing all the deposits for the trip, he began to think to himself, what if she doesn't feel the same type of way? And so then what if he began to have an inner turmoil, like when they have a devil on one side of the shoulder and the angel on the other side of the shoulder, and both of them are the angel saying, like, no, she really is vibing on you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be insecure. And then the devil is on the other ear saying, like, nah, she's not feeling you, blah, 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 blah. And then he does something just in the heat of the moment and asks her for $100. What if it just slipped out of his mouth before he even, you know what I'm saying, had even time to think about it, because now he's in a panic because he's
right?
got voices in his head saying, yes, she do like you. So it's cool to spend all this money and take her to Colorado. Or nah, she don't like you and you look like a chump. And we know men hate to look like simps. That nothing angers a man more for him to think that he is, being embarrassed that
Mm-hmm.
somebody is doing. And so the question just came out. And her response, which is pretty much his whole argument, her response is what got the trip shut down. Anything could have been going in that man's head. So I feel
Yeah,
like the right thing would have been for her to either say, yes, I have $100, or no, I don't have $100. To say, what do you need it for and when I'm going to
but
get
she
it
has that
back.
right. So I don't understand how you feel like he has the
She
right
she
to.
only has that right if she's gonna give the damn hundred
No, she
dollars.
don't. It's her $100. She can have the right to say whatever she wants to, whether she gonna give it or not. Because at the end of the day, it's still mine and in my possession until I decided to relinquish it to you. Just because I have it, don't mean you're entitled to it. And it's my money until I give it to you. And if I want to know what you're gonna do with it, whether I give it to you or not, because I can still have it and find out what you want to do with it and still say no, and that's still my prerogative. I get that she might have the right, but I'm saying even if he didn't get the answer that he wanted, he still don't know her mind process behind her response unless he talked to her about it. And if he didn't talk to her about it, then it still didn't solve anything in my opinion, because you're gonna be like, oh, because then they would like to say to people, oh, she ain't really that into you, such, and it could well mean be that. But in case that it's not that, because you not gonna take the time to understand her response, and let's say it was, and that's why he canceled everything, then by all means, bygones be bygones, you got what you needed. But if on the back end, if he didn't even give her time to explain her response and just said, no, you gave me what I need, I'm out, I think that's wrong.
Right. Now
So we don't know that.
I agree with you on
But
that.
yeah, but just because she don't have to, she has every right to ask why, whether she got it or not.
And you know, that is blowing my mind. So now I pose a question to the audience. I would like for you guys to email us
Oh, I got a question too. Go ahead.
At atfriendshipdiaries@gmail.com and let Azra know whether or not when people ask you for money, your response is, what do you need it for? Because unless it's my kid, and that's maybe because I don't like to be questioned. Like, I'm a whole grown up, and I don't like to be questioned in that type of regards by other grown-ups. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about like a how was your day? Hey girl, what's going on? I don't mind those type of questions. But there are questions that I feel like I'm a grown-ass woman. Like, if I'm asking you to borrow $100, you should either say, yes, I have it, or no, I don't have it. And then if you say, no, you don't have it, my response is going to be, okay, thank you. Or if you say, yes, you do have it, my response is going to be, okay, thank you. Here is when I can pay it back. Like, the reasoning of why I need the money. What if it's something embarrassing? You know what I'm saying? What if it's something that I don't want to share with you? So now you're putting me in a position to lie to you.
You don't have to lie. You can just say, I don't feel comfortable sharing it with you because it's embarrassing.
So does that, okay. So, but if you're asking what the money is for, does my answer dictate on whether or not you give me the money? If it doesn't dictate on whether or not you give me the money, then asking me what I need the money for is irrelevant. If I say to you, if you say, Azra, what do you need the money for? And I say, I'm sorry, it's embarrassing, I don't want to talk about it. That ain't going to change whether or not you're going to give me the money.
It may. It may or may not, but it's my money and it's my decision, and I have that right to make the decision what I'm going to do with what I choose to invest in. And in this moment, I'm going to invest in you. So if I want to know where my investment is going, I have every right to know where my seed is going. And even if you don't, because think about it, wherever you go, it's the same thing. If you go in the bank, I need a loan. What do you need it for? I need to buy a car. I need to buy a house. I need to start a business. Okay, I got that.
That's something, but that's we're talking about from a business aspect. Right. As your friend, don't do me like no business. Don't want to know my shit and then talk about interest and all that. As a friend, absolutely not. As a bank, I just bought a car. They had every right to ask me my monthly income. They had every right to ask me my debt, credit, because they are a corporation that is lending me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for my Jeep. Mm-hmm. So they have the right to ask me that. You, my friend, say,
I am the lender. So if I am the lender, friend or not,
you're the friend lender. You're not the corporation lender where it needs to be documented in a computer with my social security number. And so you're my friend. You just need to know my Cash App. I just need to know your Cash App.
But if
I just need to know where you live so I can just drop the money off to you.
But if we're friends, I should be able to ask you what you need it for, and you don't get offended.
Yo, that is blowing my mind. Because can you see the mind blowing right on my face?
It's my money.
I understand it's your money.
It's my money. Correct. So I have the right to know where. Now, I'm not saying that I would ask, but I'm just trying to get you to understand that if somebody do ask, or if I do ask you, it's not nothing personal. But I have a right to know because it's my money. And you need my money.
You see the look on my face.
You're asking me.
I'm flabbergasted.
You're asking me for my money.
I understand. I understand that. I understand I'm asking you
So
for
if I
your
ask you for
money,
what it's
but I'm
for,
asking you to borrow it. You're going to get it back, so it don't matter. You're going to get it back. If I'm asking you to borrow money, you're going to get it back. So did you lose anything? No. But the person who lost something is the person whose space you intruded upon to ask, what do you need it for? If I'm comfortable enough to come to you and ask you as a friend, then I expect a friend response. If we boo and we've been talking for a minute, I expect a boo talking for a minute response. I don't expect a bank response. I don't expect a corporation response. We're friends.
I think it's a friend response. I think it's a friend response because
Okay.
if I ask you, if you're comfortable enough to ask me for it,
Mm-hmm.
then I should be able, as a friend, and as a friend, I should be comfortable enough to ask you what it's for.
Clearly, we're not going to see
Right.
eye to eye on
I
this.
should be able to ask what it's for. Because at the end of the day, because
And
see,
this
I
is
have a different opinion. So
wait,
I feel
and this
like
is a
people,
hard argument to have with
I
you
feel like
because
people,
I've never
I
asked
feel
you
like
for money. You've never asked me for money, and so I have nothing to
because
base
some people feel
this
like they
off
entitled
of.
to your money and they're not, because you said if you have it or if you don't, it shouldn't change whether or not, if you have it or if you don't, if you're not going to give it to me, you're not going to give it to me. Let's change the situation. Let's say I'm a millionaire
Mm-hmm.
and I'm your friend
Mm-hmm.
and you know I got it.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it is $100 and you come ask me for $100 and I say, okay, well, Angela, what you need it for? You're going to be offended if I say what you need it for?
Okay, so because you said at the very beginning of this, I'm a millionaire, that changes. It changes it because if I'm a millionaire and you know that I'm now a millionaire
Mm-hmm.
and you ask me for money, are you asking me for money because I'm a millionaire? Or are you asking me for money because you righteously really need it? That's my only question on that. If I
If
wasn't a millionaire, would you ask me?
right, and even but it goes the same
But
way.
it's still not what do you need the money for?
Right, it will still be the same whether I'm a millionaire or whether I'm paycheck to paycheck. It's still going to be what you need the money for.
I see.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether I'm a millionaire or I live paycheck to paycheck. I'm still, if I want to know, I'm not saying that I will, but if I want to know, I feel like I should be able to ask because you're asking me. You're asking me for something.
I know. I mean, I do understand what you're
And it's
saying.
not
I
that I'm
really
questioning
do.
you as a grown person. Yeah, you grown, but at the end of
And
the
my grown
day,
ass needs $20 from you. So damn, do you got $20 now? That's how I see it. Like, I don't know. I just
because I feel like if you don't, why you don't want to tell me then?
well, I gotta tell you.
Because
It's
I
your
want to
money
know.
because it's your money.
And it's my money.
It's my money and I want it
Now, if you
now.
if the wind blow and $20 roll up at your feet and you pick it up and I say, well, what you gonna go do with that $20? You ain't got to tell me, because see, I don't ask you what what you spent. Do you feel what I'm saying? I'm asking you what
But
you
to
need
me,
it for.
that's a more reasonable question. Damn, $20 roll up. Damn, you just came into $20 that you did not have. What you gonna do with it?
So I can
Because
ask
that's a
you
bit
what you're
of
gonna
luck.
do with it.
That's a bit of luck. That's a bit of
That money
fortune
that
that
you
you just
find,
came into.
but
Absolutely.
I can't ask you what you're gonna do with money that I'm going to relinquish to you on the precipice that I'm going to get it back, because you giving it back ain't guaranteed.
You know,
So
I and I would say that all of this probably goes to also the caliber of person that you're dealing with. If you ask me for $20 because I know you and I know what type of person you are, I'm just gonna cash app it to you. And we're probably still gonna be on the phone. I'm gonna
right,
put you on
right.
speaker as I try to figure out cash app
But
because
there's
it's
an
a pain
amount
in
that I
the
would
ass
ask that you
every
would ask
time.
me what I needed for. There is a amount that I could come to you and ask, and you would ask me what I needed.
And I don't think that and you're correct about that because
Okay,
I just thought of a number.
exactly.
But the only reason my motive for asking, so if you came to me and said, Azra, I need $1,000. You ain't never asked me for $1,000 before. $1,000 because we're living paycheck to paycheck. around here. $1,000 is a good bit of money to ask for.
Mhm.
So now I'm asking to make sure you're good. Because it's $1,000. If you came and asked me for $100, I'm not that $100 is not gonna. So I guess it's on me. I'm gonna set the parameter as far as the money if
Mhm.
I'm gonna ask any further questions. If you ask me for $100, I'm gonna say yes or no, I have it. And if I have it, I'm gonna put you on speaker because 9 times out of 10 we on the phone,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna cash app it to you. But if you ask me for $1,000, I'm gonna ask you what the problem is. Like,
And that's the
y'all
whole
all
thing with the
right?
post. See, we don't know what the parameters were. We don't know how her mind thinks. You said, so your parameters 1,000. Hers could have been 100. We don't know sister budget.
She was like, that's a little bit too much.
Right, right,
I got you.
right. And
Okay.
then
From that perspective,
now you know.
absolutely.
And then there's another perspective
but if
that
he
I
would
have.
but if he would have said, okay, we're saying from her perspective, maybe $100 was too much, and that is what she asked. What do you need it for?
Yeah, because
my
if he had
perspective,
said 25, he might not have got that response.
she would have just cashed apped him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Zelle. She
Right.
would have just sent him the money.
Right.
Okay. From that perspective, but only from that perspective do I concede to this argument. Only from that perspective. Because again, I'm still, to any of my friends that are listening, don't ask me for any money, but if you do, I'm not going to ask you, what do you need it for?
I just might. I don't know. I don't have many friends, so I mean, if you close enough to ask me for money,
And that's my
but most
that's
of my
my
friends
other thing.
volunteer it. Like when people ask me for money, if they do ask me, I never have to ask because they volunteer the information.
Right.
So I've never had nobody really ask me to say like, and if they did, they always tell me what they need it for.
True. That's why I said I think all of this also depends on the caliber of person, and
right,
you know who you're dealing with.
Right.
I think even in that in the hypothetical situation where if you did ask me for $1,000, I'm probably gonna be like, I don't got 1,000. I can contribute maybe like 2 to your thing. And then I'm gonna be like, is you all right? Like, is anything okay? Shit, do I need to go to the bank and try to get a loan for the $1,000? Do we need to try to go to a bank? Because to me, that's an alarming number. You've never asked me for $1,000, so that's also going to be alarming to me. So that would prompt me to ask questions.
And that might have prompted her. It might have been, he ain't never done it before. It might have been, so she might have been, well, what you need it for? Like, what's going like, she might have been asking questions because it might have caught her off guard. We don't know.
Again, only from that side of the coin will I say, okay, the questions on what you need it for. And I guess when I'm going to get it back might heavy on the might
you gotta
be acceptable.
Too, like, I mean, you just got to make sure you ain't getting love bombed,
I mean, I do understand, but I don't know. It just the post was, when I initially read it, it
made me mad from the whole. Well, it didn't make me. It made me upset because I'm like, that makes no sense to me. Like, I don't understand. Like, just have a conversation. Like, because we don't know her mindset. We don't know what her parameters are, and for him to be just like, oh, now he could have made this post after fact, and he know for a fact she wasn't about him. And he should have positioned it like that and said it better, but it's just the way that he positioned it, like, oh, she failed, it was her. And I'm like, dude, like, what did you pass?
See, and again, that's what I said.
For all we know, you could have been failing every test she don't gave up until this point.
Correct. I mean, she also could be given tests that we are not aware of,
right?
But she should have posted about it because he posted about his. And again, the part where he says he was simply trying to see what type of response he was going to get, like, that really resonated with me because I know, I mean,
well, I hope you did more than one test because humans give you different responses on different days. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just, that's what
my first of the month response is
might not be the middle. So that's why I don't like, that's why I don't like the whole test thing because I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
Because what if she had a pass, but she still took you down through there and took you for everything you had a year later? Like, to me, the test doesn't
It
I
doesn't
digress.
give a
Yeah.
yay or nay on whether or not
Yeah.
this thing is going to be successful.
Right.
Now, yes, I agree with you on that.
That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
you know,
I ain't a scantron, so don't test me. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry.
humans are going to, I mean, I'm sure we'll see another post in regards to something like this again, because we're talking about people. Nobody really tries to do the whole honesty, straightforward, no mind games anymore. But, I don't blame people. It's the time. It's the time that we live in.
I just say be patient. People show you who they are if you
Oh
wait long
yeah,
enough.
absolutely. If you wait long enough, some people don't got time though.
Yeah.
Buddy clearly didn't have time. This is why he canceled everything ASAP.
But if he had to sit down and have a conversation, he'd know. I'm telling you, look, sit there and have a conversation, you'll know. And stop sleeping with everybody.
Talk more.
If you talking, you ain't got to run these tests. So you too busy lip smacking and rubbing all over each other, and y'all don't even know nothing about each other. And that's why you gotta be out here giving tests and stuff.
Over $100.
Over $100.
The relationship is now over.
Over $100. Stop sleeping with everybody.
Yeah. We're assuming that the relationship is probably over.
Yeah, but I'm saying stop sleeping with
everybody.
The
way he ended it, test failed. He sounded like he might have been a little bit upset.
He was upset.
Which says to me that the relationship
I'm gonna leave y'all
over.
with this nugget. Y'all might not believe me. You ain't gotta trust me or nothing. But let me tell you something.
Here she go.
If you don't sleep with somebody and just date them with sex off the table, you'll know real quick if you're meant for each other.
Real quick.
Reason why people stay in relationships 5, 10, 15 years because they don't have sex. Now they got soul ties. Now you got all this stuff involved. Now you can't shake them and all this stuff. You're looking for them in a daylight with a flashlight, all that mess. That all comes because you slept with them. I promise you, if both of y'all take sex off the table, let's date 6 months and see what happens. No sex. You'll find out in about a month.
Whether or not you even like the person.
Whether or not you even like, because you ain't got nothing else to do but talk. Ain't nobody got time to waste time to give you a fake representative when ain't no sex off the table. 9 to my 10, they probably gonna already walk away. Because they're like, I'm not here for that anyway. They show you what they want you to see just to get what they want from you.
And then if you're having sex, the
it
endorphins, all the different chemicals and shit going off, you not even seeing or hearing correctly.
No.
Yeah.
No. So that's all I'm saying,
You mentioned
you wouldn't have had to book all that stuff, my boy, and go back and cancel it.
You mentioned soul ties. You think we should do a segment one time on soul ties? I believe soul ties is a very true thing. A lot of people do not. A lot of people do not believe in soul ties.
No, yeah, they don't believe it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
See how I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how I'm feeling about it. Because I believe in them.
Yeah.
I got to.
That could be the whole discussion. I believe in them. You believe in them. We friends. Yeah. Whatever.
I ain't trying to.
What's up?
I ain't trying to tie my soul to you and your generation of curses. Come on here. No, ma'am. No, sir.
Yeah. I don't know. You just got to be careful who you date.
Right.
Let alone have sex with. Because Buddy couldn't even get $100 for whatever reason.
Buddy
couldn't get $100, and I'm still of the mindset that I don't think her response.
It wasn't what he wanted.
It's not even a matter of it wasn't what he wanted. I just think she could have responded differently.
He could have tested her differently. We got different opinion. I don't think he should have tested her.
But
you wouldn't have got their response.
That's why we're great, because we don't always agree.
Don't always agree.
What you said? Sorry,
right?
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Now if
nah,
my response.
I feel you, sister. I do.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, she should have responded differently. But it's all good. We wish them well, whether they're together.
We wish you well, good brother.
Yes, whether they're together,
whether they're together or not,
or they're separated. We wish you well, and maybe work on some communication so that you can,
or just sit down and see if you're on the same page with somebody, so you don't have to do no test.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody compatible with you or not.
Yeah.
If somebody, people communicate different. You just have to, find what that is and
make it work. So nobody walks away with hurt feelings.
Because her feelings could be hurt.
And his feelings are definitely hurt.
Yeah,
He did a whole long ass post about it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So
So he should have made that.
it gives the appearance
Yeah,
that he
was
might
hurt.
be a
Yeah.
little hurt.
But
But
I call bull. But that's just me.
again,
I
we're
could be
going to
wrong.
agree to disagree, but nevertheless, another episode.
Subscribe, rate, and review. This is probably one of the juiciest, probably the most heated or excited or animated that you. Not really heated, but I love to debate. It was a great debate.
It was a great debate, and it was a great debate about a subject that was, of course,
none of our business.
It don't even matter.
Don't even matter. We don't know who they is.
They blocked his name out on the post.
you better block the name. No,
that's how much it's
like
how much is none of our business.
No,
but yeah, I definitely I enjoyed because men and women are very different. But either way it goes, these two women will be back on Friday.
Yes, we will.
Join us. Have a good night.
Good night.
Peace. Peace.